Hi guys.
Hey, Martin.
Do you still recall your first meeting?
Did we meet online?
Did you ever meet?
When we met?
Yeah, you met.
It seems like we've grown up together, but that's not the truth at all.
I think we knew about each other for a lot longer before we met. We both played in rock and roll bands in Tucson, and we're always kind of playing the same places. And eventually, we ended up playing in the same rehearsal space. I think that was more or less when we started hanging out, playing together.
About 5 or 6 years ago.
And before you actually played together, but you actually knew of each other's existence, what did you know of each other? What did you?
Well, we're from Tucson, Arizona. It's not the biggest city in the world, so we're both players in the local music scene. So you kind of pay attention to what everyone else is doing. And
Yeah.
Gabriel was obviously one of the people that everyone knew what he was doing, and it was about the same. And yeah.
And the first time that you actually started playing together, what was this a special occasion?
Yeah, it was actually when we moved into a new rehearsal space with my band, and our band and Brian's band, mostly Bears, we were in the basement of the building, and up top was Sergio Mendoza's orchestra, and I think it took a matter of a week. Everyone started sitting in with each other's bands, and the first show we played together was opening for Exene Cervenka from X. Both of us did a opening set and played with each other. I always remember that night.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And why do you always remember that?
I mean, it was definitely like marked a new turn in my musical ways. Before that, I was really only playing like punk rock and metal, and I was really kind of new to the songwriter side of things, and I remember that night, Jason, the keyboard player, who's in Xixa now, he played saxophone with me that night. I had just met him, I had just met Brian, and yeah, it was really like a turning point for me.
Was it for you a turning point too? Because you said, "Oh, I forgot about that night." Was it for you a turning point too, or?
I remember that night for different reasons that I won't really go into on camera, but yeah, I remember that night now that you mention it.
What made you decide to actually start a band together?
Well, I think it was pretty natural the way it all came together. We both played in a woman named Marianne Dessard. She brought a band from Tucson to Europe. She's like a French chanteuse, and we were part of the backing band, and we also did opening sets. And from then on, it was kind of like we both started playing with Giant Sand, both of us, and that's been about 5 years in the making. And it just seemed like we were always doing stuff together musically, and it just really fit well. We work well together. We're not really coming from the same musical backgrounds, but we complement each other in ways that others don't really complement you. So,
how do you complement each other?
Well, I guess that's pretty evident in our band Xixa. Like that whole band is basically a push and pull of the two personalities, and with the surrounding band kind of keeping us in tow.
What was when did you actually, because you played together for Giant Sand, but when did you actually start writing songs together? Was it during the period too, or?
I think it was, aside from Giant Sand, we were always, we did quite a few tours in Europe, just the two of us, and it was, I think, literally the last few years, like, we spent more time with each other than with any of our family or anything, like, so it was just so natural to sit down like this with guitars, and we were always kind of coming up with ideas and casually writing together. But yeah, it was after a big 2.5 month tour, I think in 2013, that we came home and really decided to put a project together to start creating as one.
And what was your idea with this project? What?
It was Brian had been gifted a CD called The Roots of Chicha Volume 1 that was it like totally changed our musical lives. I think the guitar work was just incredible, and it had such a rock and roll and urgent feeling to it. We just figured, let's cover some of these songs and kind of start there. And yeah, it was just so much fun for us to learn all this new style of guitar, and then the band came together, and it was everything just flowed from there.
But you also actually, what I read about you is that you actually learned to speak Chicha fluently.
Yeah, well, I think that's more of a reference and testament to the fact that we started this. It was basically a cover band of Chicha music, which is psychedelic cumbia from Peru from the 60s and 70s, and we just learned songs inside out, and just really, just like a doctoral candidate for a cello might learn one of Bach's cello suites inside out. There's really no difference. You just have to take each phrasing, each rhythmical element, until you can breathe that, and that's in your blood. And then you take that and start doing stuff filtered through your own personality and your own experiences, and that's what Xixa is.
Was it hard actually to do this, to actually learn it from the known songs?
It was super fun. It wasn't hard at all. In fact, it was we couldn't wait to learn the next song. When you're covering stuff, it's and when the audiences respond to it the way they do, which is it's immediate, it's infectious, people love it, people move. It almost gives you that false sense of satisfaction that you actually wrote the song, but you didn't. You didn't write that, so you have to remind yourself, okay, but we can do the same thing, just filtered through our own band and personality and experience. And yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
How hard was it actually to leave those songs behind and write your own song? Because I can imagine the first songs
for our fans.
that you no, what I mean, the first song that you write actually might be a bit
it
more.
was like I always think that out of every musical project I've done this band, everything about it has been so organic and so natural for us. And I remember the first song we wrote together as a band was just because we had some extra time in the studio, and it just flowed so easy for us. And I think, like Brian said, the hardest thing I think was especially our fans in Tucson, who grew so in love with us playing these Chicha covers. It was a bit of a transition to I think the original stuff might be a little more dark and a little more mystical and not quite so just party like, but we still play a couple songs every set of the old Chicha stuff.